This street has many Thanka painting studio, and at this time, every studio has an artist who is painting now.
青金石、绿松石、金子，就是你们别看我们这边有黄金，但是黄金其实在比起这些矿物质原料里面就是最便宜的。黄金也贵，对吧？但是最便宜的
珍珠粉、
对珍珠粉、
绿松石
对
和黄金。Good morning everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I am in Delingha in Qinghai province, and Delingha, the city's name, is a Mongolic word and it means a golden world. And now I am exactly walking in a golden field.
Delingha is a small city on the edge of the Qinghai Tibet Plateau. Compared with the desolate no man's land in western Khadan Basin, life here is much more vibrant. The city has a mixed population, and walking through it, one can clearly see the Mongolian and Tibetan influence. To the west of the city, there is a spectacular solar farm that stretches several kilometers. Standing in the middle is a huge tower. It is so bright that one can see it easily from anywhere of the city.
On my flight to Xinjiang, I saw a shining point on the ground, and it is this, the solar tower in Delingha. It's so bright, I can barely open my eyes. It's almost as bright as the sunlight. So in Qinghai province, there are a lot of solar panels, there are a lot of wind power plant, and this power plant has a capacity of 50 megawatts, which is enough to support 100,000 households. Delingha has a significant Tibetan and Mongolian influence, and walking on this commercial street, there is, for example, a Tibetan restaurant, Tibetan cha canteen, and there are also Mongolian traditional clothes shop, Mongolian restaurants. 八音和硕民族店 Hoshuo is horseshoe, and the Mongolians living in this region are mainly the descendants of the horseshoe tribe. 老板，你们就是青海本地人吗？
对。
哦，青海本地的藏族。
对。
啊，就是德令哈的。
就是德令哈的。
这边的藏族和蒙古族哪个多一点？
一样多吧。
一样多。
对，蒙古族多一点，这边德令哈是。
哦。
A highly recommended dish is Delingha 退骨肉, hand-pulled meat, and we decided to give it a try before leaving.
你的素粉汤。谢谢。
哇，太开心了。
Now we got everything. That's Qinghai milk tea. There is tea and milk, and it's a salty drink. 来，师傅开车辛苦，你也喝一碗。
正是那是啊。
So in the end, we have to weigh the bones so that we know how much meat we ate.
123块钱。
123，好的。That's the name. 退骨肉。
有多个违法拍照，请按交规行驶。
As we head to the east, we also drove away from the arid Khadan Basin. we began to see more grasslands. Occasionally, a high-speed train would flash by, sunbound for Lhasa, the spiritual heart of Tibet. The colorful prayer flags fluttered in the breeze, and white stupas reminded us that we had entered Hebei Tibetan Autonomous Prefecture. That day, we drove nearly 700 kilometers, passing Qinghai Lake, China's largest lake, the bustling capital city of Xining, and finally approached the destination Tongren. As night fell, we saw some golden towering Buddhist stupa in the distance. The glow caught my eyes, and we drove into the village through streets full of painting studios.
This street has many Thanka painting studios, and at this time, every studio has an artist who's painting now.
At the heart of the village stood a grand monastery. The towers were adorned with intricate, exquisite decorations, exuding a deep sense of spirituality. We explored briefly and decided to return the next day. The monastery we visited the night before is located in Wutun Lower Village. Though not too big, it's a highly influential site in Tibetan Buddhism and is known as the center for Thanka Art, a fine Buddhist painting portraying deities.
I just had a tour with one of the monks who showed me some really intricate, beautiful Thanka paintings inside the monastery. However, I was only allowed to take some short videos with my phone. He told me that originally Thanka art is a Buddhist painting and only monks know how to do it. So there are only two places around China where the monks know how to do these paintings. One is here, Wutong Xiasi, and the other one is Wutong Shangsi. It smells like burnt pine wood.
Thanka is a much valued art in Tongren. For the Buddhists here, Thanka painting is also a way to study, meditate, and reflect on Buddhist teachings. Many children here began learning Thanka painting at a young age, ensuring the continuation of this ancient art form. In Wutun village, nearly every household has painters, and Thanka studios are everywhere. Painting Thanka is an intricate craft that demands patience, sharp eyesight, and a steady hand. Brushes are often no thicker than a single strand of hair, and the smallest details, such as the tip of a nose, are almost too tiny to see clearly. For the young artists here, Thanka painting is more than just a skill, it's a spiritual practice. A small painting the size of a coin can take few days, while a big one can easily take several years.
The painting is extremely fine, and there is a lot of detail in that, and every line is so even.
像你这打一个线稿啊，就是光打线稿，你要多长时间？那也得要看，这些都是我们按照经书的仪轨，然后自己想象出来的嘛。就是可能会花点时间。
就等于说，它是经书的故事，然后你们根据自己的理解。
对，这里面好像就是光是人物就有600多个。600多个人物在里面。哇，你看这种护法就是有3头6臂的，
而且我觉得它有一点有层次感。
对啊，有层次，护法在最边上。然后越往里面就是越那种主要人物。
Since it's a Buddhist painting, so every painting has a story to tell. There is a story behind the position of different Buddhas, different guide.
每天都除了画，就是每天往地下一坐就是7、8个小时，然后
这个东西
就是坐在那儿开始画。
对，就是跟修行一样，我们都已经，因为刚开始画的时候，我们也会暴躁，我们也会急躁，也不想天天坐在家里。对，但是你主要学习这个唐卡之后，你也会懂得一点佛法，然后你就会进入唐卡的世界里面，你就会一心一意的把它会画好，就画的完美。就是久而久之，你就不会这种急躁，就已经习惯了，就把它当做一种修行。因为你本身画唐卡，它也是有一种，就是它也是一种修行的方式嘛。就是那种笔尖上的修行。对，只要我们把它画得很好看，我们也是在积累福报，对吧？
就它也是另外一种修行。
假如你把一幅唐卡，就是把这幅宗喀巴大师就画的，我是说那个画师就把它画的比例不好，度量经不好，而且都画得很邋遢的话，就是对于宗喀巴大师的不敬。你看看，你过来，这是我自己所绘的，你看看这些用那个镜子点的一笔一笔点上，这不是晕染的，这是用笔尖一点点点上去。
This is a painting of a Buddha with 1,000 hands. Each finger is only 1 millimeter.
这个拉的金线，这是金线。
它还有一点点那个就是过度的感觉。
你们应该会觉得这种应该人工画不出。
那你们就是画的这么稳，你看这个线哈，这么长，你们拉的就是间距都一模一样的。
对啊，就是经过多年的努力，
只要功夫深。
我小学4年级就没毕业，7岁的时候就开始学了。7岁就开始学，今年我22岁。如果唐卡这类就是你不学个10年以上，就是天赋好的，他也要学个8、9年、10年。
哇，像这一幅画你大概画多久啊？
这个1年要。
1年。
因为我们画工好。这是矿物质原料，你看这些都是一笔点进去。
就这些点
一个点上去的，这不是直接刷上去的，这是一点一点。你看，从深到浅，然后就可以形成一个天空的颜色。
Thanka paintings are valuable works. The pigments used in Thanka painting are exceptionally rare and precious, often derived from minerals, gold, and precious stones.
青金石、绿松石、金子，
绿松石就是那个宝石的。
对，就是达摩成粉。就是你们别看我们这边有黄金，但是黄金其实在比起这些矿物质原料里面就是最便宜的。黄金也贵，对吧？但是最便宜的，你看这个白色的是珍珠粉。
珍珠粉，
对，珍珠粉，
绿松石，
对，
黄金，
对，然后有很多，然后
The city Tongren is often referred by the locals as Regong, which means Golden Valley in Tibetan. Tongren has long been a cultural crossroads. Over 1,000 years ago, during the Tang Dynasty, it was a frontier between Han and Tibetan regions. Before the founding of modern China, Tibetan Buddhism governed much of this region, and this deep-rooted Buddhist culture continues to thrive today. There are white stupas in the center of almost every Tibetan village, and the houses' doors are often decorated with posters printed on woodblock carvings. Longwu Monastery in Tongren stands as a spiritual center, always busy with visitors. Early in the morning, people circumambulate the temple, chanting prayers as they move.
The Tibetans not only live in Tibetan autonomous region, but also they spread across the provinces of Qinghai, of Sichuan, of Gansu. And by geographical and cultural features, the Tibetans can be roughly divided into 3 groups: Anduo, Weizang, and Kangba. In Qinghai, it's mainly the Amdo, Anduo, Zangzu. Traditionally, they live on animal husbandry.
But when I walked into the old town, I discovered another side of it. The old quarter is where Hui culture is deeply ingrained. The Hui people are easy to recognize. The men often wear white caps and the women headscarves. The Hui people are said to be the descendants of Silk Road traders, known for their entrepreneur spirit. According to the local story, centuries ago, the Dalai Lama invited them to facilitate the trade between Tibetan and Han community, and they have settled here ever since.
Longwuzhen, this is a historical town in Tongren, and different from the other parts of Tongren, this area has a mixed population of Tibetans, Hui, and Sala people. That's a very typical bakery in this region. 啊，帮我拿个这个呗。
3颗餐这个是。
好的。
小馍馍。
这叫啥？
小馍馍。
小馍馍。
小圈圈。
小圈圈。等会儿啊。Yeah, that's the bread I got. It looks like a big bagel, but it's different from the Western bread, from Western bakery. For me, it's a bit like baked mantou. We're having our dinner in a Tibetan restaurant. We've got a noodle and rice with potato and beef. And interestingly, there is also a little cupboard in the middle that's Thanka painting. So in every Tibetan house there is a Buddhist shrine. Religion still plays a very important role. So that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and we're going to have dinner very soon. Thanks for watching, and bye bye.